What is up? It is episode 2 of the Omaha Dreams podcast, hosted by
Brendan Young, 270 career high school hitter, and Connor Howman, the all-time Little League walk leader.
some might say the best walker possibly ever.
Greatest eye.
Yeah, super short. Okay, so let's get into it. We're gonna start with our intro. We're gonna start today with the best social media post of the week. There's a clear winner here, but I have an honorable mention as well. Then we're gonna move into our week 2 wrap up, week 2 top performers, top 25 movement. We have our first week 3 upset as of today, Monday.
It's a big one.
It's a big one. It's a surprising one for sure. And then we will move to our week 3 games of notes, and then into our conference.
And our hot takes.
Yeah, we might have a few hot takes. Into our conference previews. Today we will be looking at the Atlantic Sun, the Big 12, the Big East, and the Big South.
A lot of big going around.
A lot of big conference, big boys. Not really sure if that's true, but we will finish with the top 10 or top 8. So we had our top 10 last week. We're moving down, trimming a little bit of the fat. Yeah. So let's get into it. Best social media post of the week. I'll let you take it away.
All righty. So I think by far the winner of this category this week has to be Liberty Baseball unveiling their baby blue, powder blue, whatever you want to call it, their powder blue uniforms. This video is hilarious.
Yeah.
So I don't know, I would guess it's the TikTok trend with the Celine Dion song. It's all coming back to me now.
Yeah, I've seen some of these, and it's like typically
a girl.
It's typically a girl, and they get carried out by like 2 people, and she has this big coat on, and she rips it off, and she's wearing like a nice dress, and like she's singing, and they got like
the
hair dryer, and her hair is blown. Well, it's ridiculous.
I don't know the guy's name that did it, but
yeah, well,
he had some long hair.
He did.
It was flowing.
He had some flow.
The mustache was on point.
On point. Beautiful. Puts mine to shame.
Yeah, but that easily wins. Easily wins social media post of the week this week. I think we're going to continue this segment every Tuesday episode.
Yeah, we're workshopping this, so it's either going to be a Tuesday or Thursday thing. We got something else we're workshopping that might be another start of the week episode, since we have 2 of them now.
Mm-hmm.
But my honorable mention is NC State tweeted out after one of Tommy Tank's home runs. I don't know if
his
you saw
last
this.
one, probably.
I forget. I think it was, yeah, who knows. They said build the statue, and it was a great tweet. It was just solid all around, and I just loved it. You just can't go wrong with that.
Yeah, I mean, the legend of Tommy Tanks continues just after his second weekend.
Exactly.
Just putting more bombs over the.
He's just sending them over the fence, sending them into orbit.
Yeah. Putting them everywhere. But we'll get into Tommy Tanks later. Yeah. But the first upset, I think I want to say, or one of our biggest games that we want to talk about from this past week, is Louisiana Tech upsetting LSU on Wednesday night.
Yep. February 23rd is when that happened.
Yeah. So Louisiana Tech unranked, LSU ranked number 8, one of the top teams in the nation, favorites maybe to win the SEC.
Yep.
I mean, they're a historic program. What do you think?
Yeah, I mean, it ended up being 11-6. Louisiana Tech was the home team. I don't know. The guy who took the night by storm, it seemed like, from social media posts and just his performance in general, was Taylor Young. I had here that he went 3 for 4 with a home run, 4 RBIs. He also had 2 runs, and he was a single away from the cycle, which sucks.
You would think
because that's the easiest part of the cycle, right?
Yeah, it is the easiest part.
So that sucks. He was so close, and he had the easiest part. But great performance by him. Huge part in that win.
Mm-hmm.
So
I think another big storyline from this game is LSU commits 5 errors, which they only give up 6 earned runs the whole game. So you take away 5 runs that weren't earned.
Yeah.
I mean, that's a 1-run game.
Yeah.
And I think without those the errors, like what's the game look like? And I think going forward, Jay Johnson, their first year, well, Jay Johnson coached at Arizona last year. This is his first year at LSU. He'll get that cleaned up. I don't think LSU has anything to worry about.
Yeah, I think that's one of those things that, like, at the beginning of the year like this, you don't love that. Mm-hmm. It's not great. You don't want to lose to the Louisiana Tech. They tweeted out, I think, that they own the state or something like that. I don't know if that's exactly true. I think it's loosely something like that. But yeah, this team, Louisiana Tech, put up a great fight and they deserve the win.
Yeah, they definitely deserved it. But I mean, the game probably looks a little bit different if they don't have 5 errors.
Louisiana Tech's pitching staff also had 14 Ks, so they were getting it done for sure.
And also, I think for me personally, I have an early baseball name of the year candidate from this game.
Okay, let me hear it.
Steele Netterville.
I like it.
I'm not sure what position he plays.
Okay.
But he hits the solo home run in the third.
Okay.
Which, I mean, that puts Louisiana Tech up 5-0 going into the fourth. So Steele Netterville.
I like it.
We tweeted him, but
did you?
Yeah.
I must have missed that.
Well, he must have missed it too, because he didn't even respond to it.
We got to tag him next time. Did you
tag him? I tagged him.
Oh, you tagged him?
Yeah. Whatever.
Come on.
Yeah. Maybe if he knows he's Omaha Dreams baseball name candidate of the year,
he might wake up and be like, all right, wait, hold on.
What opportunities am I missing?
Yeah. We might be able to get you like a $10 Wendy's gift card. That might be nice for him. I don't know. What's down south? They might have something better. Zaxby's. There we go. Yeah, perfect. All right, so let's move into the weekend wrap up. So we're gonna start off with games we didn't preview first, and then we're gonna move into the back half of that with the games we did preview. So I think we want to start with Sacramento State against Long Beach State, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's huge for Sacramento State. I mean, what was Long Beach State ranked? 12?
Yeah, they were 12. They dropped. We'll talk about the top 25 here later, but they plummeted down the rankings.
Yeah. They swept them. Sacramento State held on in 3 close games, I think.
All of them were decided by 1 run. So Friday night, the game went into extras. Cesar Hernandez had a solo home run to win it in the top of the 10th.
That could be a good name too.
Cesar Hernandez. I do like that name. Yeah, it's nice. Cesar.
Yeah.
Strong name. So then moving into Saturday, Long Beach State was actually up in this game 4-0 going into the top of the 7th. Or no, I'm sorry. They were down 4-0 going into the bottom of the 7th. They would rally, score 4, tie it up, but it was to no avail as Steven Moretto hit a solo home run, which would be the go-ahead run in the top of the 8th. And then Sunday, another close game. Long Beach State is up in this one. Look, that's where my confusion comes from, right? They were up 4-0 going into the top of the 7th. Sacramento State scores a run in the top of the 7th. Follow that up in the top of the 8th with 3 more runs. And then in the top of the 9th, Josh Rowling hits a 3-2 pitch to deep left, which would be the winning run for the game.
That's pretty impressive.
Yeah. So
3-2 count.
That's tough. And to send it to left. Yeah. Oh, man. Win the game for your squad. Get the sweep. That's huge for Sacramento State. And their good performance will pay off.
Yeah.
We'll
Clutch
see.
gene.
Yeah, very soon. We'll see why. Okay. Do you want to move into the next one?
Yeah. So I want to talk about Oregon State, who is currently undefeated after they sweep Xavier this past week. They are ranked, hold on, let me find it, 13th after the rankings come out this week.
Okay.
So they sweep Xavier in a Thursday to Saturday series. They outscored 22-7, which isn't too, I mean, they outscored them pretty well, but it's not like a complete domination. Like
holding them to 2 runs through 3 days, though, that's an impressive feat, I guess you would say.
And I would say that Oregon State seems like one of the top tier teams in the Pac-12.
The Pac-12, yeah. We won't be previewing that conference for a while. But there's some good teams out there in the West.
Arizona showed up this past week. They swept Milwaukee.
Yeah, you're high. You're high on them.
Yeah, I like Milwaukee. I like
Arizona.
Milwaukee.
Yeah, you like Milwaukee? Dark horse.
Yeah.
Okay. Next game I have is Tennessee Iona. The only reason we're highlighting this game is
This
because
is complete domination.
yeah, complete domination. Tennessee outscores them 68-3. Let me repeat that for you. 68-3.
Yeah.
All right. So these scores were 27-1, 29-0, and then 12-2. So the 12-2 was
12-2 though. The Saturday or the Sunday game was only 7 innings. So
was it?
who knows? It could have been
Jeez,
20.
it could have been worse.
Yeah, it could have
Oh
been a lot
my.
worse.
Yeah, but absolute dominance from Tennessee. They're looking like maybe one of the best teams in the SEC. The SEC is always loaded. It's always a tough conference, but a lot of those teams make it to the regionals and have a chance to take it further in the year, maybe make it to the College World Series. So we'll see what Tennessee does, but as of right now, they're looking good.
Yeah, that's obviously very good. They got their wheels turning. You know, they're looking like a well-oiled machine right now.
Yeah,
but
absolutely.
they're also playing Iona. I mean, they'll have a test coming up next weekend. I think we'll get to really evaluate what their team really looks like. Another game we want to highlight, we're bringing back Louisiana Tech, but not for their win. So they played Tulane in their weekend series and they lose. Tulane is off to a great start this year. They're 6-1. They go on the road to Louisiana Tech and take 2 of 3. I think if they keep it up, they also have a couple tough tests coming up in the next few weeks. But
yeah,
I think if they perform well, especially in the tougher games, and they keep up this pace that they're on, they could eventually make their way into the top 25.
Yeah, and I think
I don't think they're far off now.
No, I think they're probably close. I don't know where
Top
they're sitting.
30.
Yeah, but I think one of the things to keep in mind, right, is that East Carolina is struggling coming out of the gate. So if Tulane can capitalize on that, maybe they end up taking the American. There's a lot of baseball left to be played, but as of right now, they're looking good.
Yeah, if they win head to heads, like you never know what could happen.
Yeah, and they have some sick like throwback uniforms.
Tulane does?
I think so. Well, at least for football, like they have some sick throwback stuff, which I'm assuming you would want to incorporate into baseball too.
Yeah, they probably don't have as many.
They don't give them the love.
Yeah,
that's
they
sad.
deserve.
Yeah. So my next series we're gonna move into is, which makes me sad. I wept a tear, just one single tear. My Bryant Bulldogs got swept by Davidson.
That might have knocked them out of your top 10 list.
I don't know. We'll see. We'll see.
If it were me, I would have knocked them out after that.
Yeah, you think so? We'll see what happens. But Davidson absolutely dominated pitching wise. That Davidson pitching staff looked really good. So,
did you mention that they got swept?
Yeah, I think I mentioned that.
They got swept, and you wept.
I wept. Yes.
Lastly, we're going to talk about Maryland, who is looking very solid in the Big Ten, even though they haven't started Big Ten play.
Yeah, that stuff. A lot of the conference play doesn't start until second weekend of March.
So we got some
2
time.
or
3 weeks.
Yeah,
but they sweep Campbell on the road. The first 2 games were pretty close. They handedly win the game on Sunday 9-2.
Yeah.
That's a big series win for Maryland going on the road, especially against Campbell,
Campbell, by some experts, is the favorite to win the Big South.
Yeah, and we're experts, so who knows? Maybe today
we are nothing. I am nothing close to an expert. I'll tell you that.
I am.
Oh, okay.
Which is exactly why my picks went so well.
Yeah, you killed it. Okay, so now we're gonna move into the games we did preview. We're gonna start off with East Carolina versus UNC. I predicted this perfectly.
You did. Actually,
exactly the way it played out. UNC ended up taking the first 2 at home and lost the last one in Greensboro, which is where East Carolina is. So I had that perfectly. My player of note, Vance Honeycutt, he went 4 for 10, which is a 400 average. He had a home run and 1 RBI. He also had 2 runs and 2 base on balls. So not a super great performance, but he hit 400. So props for that. That's really good. Would love to see 2 base on balls is pretty good too. So his first home run was in the first game, and your player of note, had a home run in that game too. So I'll let you take over there if you want to. I don't know if you have him highlighted.
I didn't. My picks were so bad. I felt like there wasn't many players I could highlight for their performances because of how poor my performance was.
Yeah.
But I want to say,
yeah, you sucked it up a little bit this week, but
looking at UNC, this is a pretty big series for them. They're playing an in-state rival who's ranked ahead of them. Well, in-state, you might not want to call it a rival, but
yeah,
in-state team.
It's the same. We'll make the Pitt Penn State comparison, right? Where you're not really, well, they are rivals, but like you don't get to play them all the time.
Temple,
like
maybe Penn State Temple.
Yeah, even them, like you don't get to play them all the time, but when you do play them, you want to win those games because it looks good in recruiting. It looks good for bragging rights. Like all that stuff is important. Yeah. Especially for some of the players, like bragging rights, the seniors. I'm sure they would have loved to win this series because this is probably potentially the last time they play each other. So,
but I think that's huge for UNC. They take down a top 25 ranked team, which eventually allows them to take their spot in the top 25.
Yeah.
But I actually, you know what? I am going to highlight a player for East Carolina.
Okay.
We highlighted Carson Wisenhunt. That's his first name, right?
Yes.
I said if he pitches Friday or Saturday night, the Pirates are going to win a game at UNC.
Yeah.
He doesn't pitch.
Yeah.
Do you know what's going on with him? Like, why isn't he throwing?
I don't.
Are they trying to save him for conference play or something like that?
That might be something. I don't remember reading anything about him having an injury, so I don't know exactly what's going on. Let me look at these stats real quick. He has not pitched.
Yeah, he hasn't thrown at all.
Yeah, so don't know what's going on there.
We'll have to look into that.
Yeah, well, maybe we'll shoot him a
DM. Yeah.
No, but like we said, we're high on Carson Wisenhunt. He followed us. I mean,
he was one of our first 10 followers.
Yeah, so absolutely. So
we're rooting for him.
We definitely
to get it drafted as high as possible, and you can't get drafted as high as possible without throwing.
Yeah, so hopefully he gets to pitch this weekend. East Carolina might have a bounce back weekend this week.
I think they will. They in that last game against North Carolina, they looked good. Their bats looked alive, which they hadn't in any of their previous games.
Yeah.
They had a couple big hits. I think they'll bounce back. I think they'll be fine.
Okay. All right. So let's move to TCU, Nebraska.
I don't even want to talk about this.
I had this one right too. TCU got the sweep. That's what I had. Friday, they took the game 4-1, Saturday 8-3, Sunday 5-3. That last game seems close, but here's the thing. TCU dominated all these games, all these runs that Nebraska end up scoring come in the back half. They don't, not to say that they're not important, but TCU would jump out to the lead and they controlled the game right away, basically from Jump Street. So my two players of note that I had, TCU, I had David Bishop.
You don't have to brag like that.
I'm just saying, I just want to read what he had. He went 4 for 12 with a 333 average. He had 4 RBIs, 1 double, 1 run, and 1 base on ball.
Sick.
Yeah, it's not a bad performance. I mean, it's a good pick by me, I would say. And then for Nebraska, I had Leighton Banjoff, who went Banjoff. He went he went 4 for 13, 308 average, 1 RBI, 1 base on ball, 1 double. So not super great. He did get on base, which is what I was hoping for him. But unfortunately, no run scored. So that's what I was kind of hoping for.
My pick for Nebraska, I mean, he didn't do anything either, so I can't really
nothing
be coming at you. My pick was Josh Caron, freshman. I thought he was going to make an impact. He doesn't play one of the games. I think he didn't play on Saturday.
Okay.
But he goes 1 for 7 on the series. So
interesting. Okay. Okay, let's move to the Carbach Round Rock Classic. I had Arkansas to win it. Unfortunately, they did not. Stanford ends up winning this. They end up going 3-0 in their games.
Yeah, I had Arkansas winning too.
Yeah, but so they end up beating Louisiana 5-1. They beat Indiana 13-0 and 7, and then they beat Arkansas 5-0. So over the span of the weekend, they only give up 1 run, that's pretty impressive. Because I mean, Arkansas is a good team. You would think that game would be a little bit closer.
Yeah, I was kind of surprised that when the rankings came out today that they weren't ranked a little bit higher.
Yeah,
they're ranked. They stayed at 6.
Yeah, I don't know.
I'm not sure why they didn't at least move up 1 spot.
Yeah,
they beat Arkansas, who was ranked number 2 in the country.
Yep, and they would drop a little bit.
Yeah, they dropped 1 spot, I think.
Yeah. Okay. Anything else on that, or?
I picked Arkansas to win the series.
Yeah.
But I also said that Louisiana was gonna go 2-1.
3-1. I don't know how that would have worked though.
2-1. I think 2-1. I said that they were gonna beat Stanford and Indiana.
Yeah.
But they don't win a game the whole series.
Yeah.
So
they did. So
I'm freezing cold.
Yeah. The confusing part about that was that I like the Indiana pick because I feel like them beating Indiana I could wrap my head around that, you know. But that's the game they lost the most by, and they kept it closer with the other 2 teams, which are Arkansas and Stanford, which are both within the top 10. So I think that's something you look at as Louisiana, and you're like, all right, this weekend didn't turn out how we wanted it, obviously.
Especially how they started.
Yeah, we would have loved to pick up 1 win at least, but we kept it close with 2 top 10 teams. So that's something you can definitely build upon and improve upon for sure. So
I mean, that's baseball, you know. You win games you shouldn't, and lose games.
Yeah, absolutely.
Lose games when you put up a good game.
So next game we previewed was Alabama, Texas. I was hoping that Alabama would take 1 game. Unfortunately, Texas ends up sweeping this. Alabama did keep it close in the first 2 games, only losing 1-0 and 2-0.
Yeah, those games were good. There were a lot of, if you follow like NCAA baseball on any social media, they were posting a lot of clips from that game.
Okay.
And it was mostly just, you know, pitcher
performances,
K struts.
Yeah.
Like getting fired up after they strike out the last out of an inning in a close game. But
Alabama had pitching wise through those 2 games, they only gave up 9 hits. I mean, I think you got to take that as a win. That's the number 1 team in the country you're playing, and
yeah, they silenced their bats pretty well.
Yeah.
But I just don't think Alabama was that good.
No, I mean, I was reaching for straws there, so
like I did apparently the whole weekend.
All right, let's move to Duke Baylor.
Yeah.
We both had the Duke sweep. We both were very wrong. Baylor takes the series 2-1.
There isn't much to say.
Yeah, a disappointing performance by my Duke team. I have.
Yeah, how does that make you feel with Duke? Your ACC pick.
So when we talked about it last week, I said that this team has a lot to prove. They have a lot of young talent in their starting 9. I think they're starting 3 freshmen in their starting 9. So those freshmen have to step up at some point and start making a bigger impact for this team. And just in general, every player needs to step up and make a bigger impact if they're going to win that side of that side of the conference. I think they're going to be okay.
They won the conference last year.
Yeah. I think they're going to be okay. They just need to. I think the freshmen just need to get more comfortable. I think this team needs to just build some cohesion. Once they settle in more, I think they're going to start picking it up. And if they strike a match and they get hot, I think that's going to help them just ride it out.
Which is what I think that's what they did last year in the ACC tournament. I think they were one of the lower ranked teams to make their conference tournament and then ended up winning it. So you never know. Yeah,
we'll see. I'm still high on them. Disappointing weekend for sure, but got to move on and keep playing baseball games, right?
Yeah. I mean, who do they have this upcoming week? Actually, we're going to talk about them later, I think.
Okay. Do you want to move to your top pitching performer? Let's move into top performers.
Yeah, let's do it. So top performer, I think, in my opinion, was Zach Keenan from Middle Tennessee State.
Okay, I saw him. Yeah.
Yeah, right-handed pitcher. They have a doubleheader on Saturday. He starts the first game against Ball State, and he's the only pitcher they're going to need. He sets them up perfectly.
You're lying.
Complete game shutout. He allows only 6 runners to reach base, 4 hits, 2 base on balls, total 7 strikeouts. He gets a complete game shut piece. They get the victory 1-0. So that's a perfect game to throw a complete game.
When you need to step up and perform, he apparently did it. So.
I mean, if you have a doubleheader, there's only one way to set up. There's only one perfect way to set up your bullpen and the rest of your arms for that game and the rest of the weekend.
Yeah.
And he did it perfectly. I mean, he was the only pitcher they need. He goes the whole way.
Yeah. Okay. Well, I like that pick. That's a great pick.
We'll have to keep an eye on him.
Yeah, absolutely. I have Parker Messick. He's a Florida State pitcher. I don't know if you saw anything about him.
I don't think I saw him.
Okay. Well, on Friday against Samford, he went 7 innings with 13 Ks, allowed 0 earned, and only 1 hit to help his team win. So pretty dominant performance. I mean, they played Stanford, but off air, I said that this series might end up being one that we want to keep an eye on. It ended up not being one we had to keep an eye on, but he had an absolute dominance performance in the first game of the series. So shout out to him.
I am going to go with a non-specific pick again, like I did last week.
Yep. I love those picks.
Yeah. So I'm going with the Florida pitchers from Friday night.
Okay.
So Florida faces Georgia State on Friday. Pitchers Hunter Barco and Nick Ficarota. They're the only pitchers that throw. They throw. Hunter throws 6 innings. Nick throws 3. They combined for 18 strikeouts.
Come on, man. Really?
Yeah. So that would be 9 outs that weren't recorded by a strikeout?
Yeah.
Yeah. So Hunter comes in 12 Ks, 3 hits. He gives up 1 run in the first inning, but settles in. And then Nick Ficarado.
For some reason, when you were starting to say it, I was like, is he going to say Ficarelli? I feel like that'd be a cool name.
That would be. I don't know. I like Ficarado. He throws 3, gives up no hits, and has 6 strikeouts. So shout out to the Florida pitchers on Friday night.
Yeah, absolutely. My other pitcher is Jared Lyons. Lyons.
Lyons is probably right.
Yeah.
Leons.
He's a pitcher for George Mason. George Mason. On Saturday against Boston College, he went 9 as well. Had 10 Ks.
Was it a shot piece?
It wasn't a shot piece. He allowed 1 earned on 4 hits while walking only 2 to help his team win.
It's not as good as a pick as mine.
No, it's not, but it's still a good pick. I mean, George Mason beating Boston College. The ACC is pretty loaded as well as the SEC. Boston College, I mean, is not one of the top tier programs in the SEC, but
they're still in one of those power conferences.
Exactly. So I think that's a pretty dominant performance when you're going 9 anytime in college baseball or even professional baseball. That's a feat in itself. So shout out to him.
Yeah, I mean, that sets up the rest of your pitching staff.
Yeah.
Not even for the rest of the games that week, but
in the
next,
future.
Yeah, the next week.
Yep.
My hitter of the week.
Okay. You have 1 or 2, or how you?
I only have 1 technically.
Okay.
I mean, we both agreed on 1 that we were going to talk about, which everybody knows about it.
Yeah, for sure. I'm going to talk about 2
Actually, you go with yours because I have another pick.
Okay.
Which I could substitute.
Okay, I have 1 as well, but I'm going to start with Trey Lipscomb.
He was my pick too.
Okay. Yeah. He's a player for Tennessee. Over 3 games against Iona, went 10 for 12, which is an .833 average with 2 home runs and 14 RBIs, 9 of which come on Friday. And then just to add on to that, he had 2 triples as well.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's for the cycle.
Does he?
Yeah,
I didn't even see that.
Yeah, that was the biggest part. He hits for
Wow.
the cycle on Friday night.
This guy's a beast.
He has 9 RBIs Friday night,
Yeah.
which accounts for a third of the Volunteers' runs. They scored 27 runs on Friday night.
I think he currently is sitting at number 2 in RBIs in all of college baseball right now. We'll talk about who's number 1, but
I mean, we can talk about him now.
We'll wait.
No, let's talk about him now. Tommy White, Tommy Smokes, Tommy Tanks.
Yeah, I mean, so
leading the Wolf Pack.
We're not gonna I mean,
we might as well just add a Tommy White segment. Every week.
I mean, he's
a watch. Tommy White watch.
I mean, we're putting him as an honorable mention just because he was a top performer last week, but
he should be in the top performers this week.
As well. But over 3 games against Quinnipiac, went 7 for 13, which is a 538 average with 4 home runs and 14 RBIs. And then through 8 games this season, he has a 588 average with 9 home runs and 29 RBIs. And the 29 RBIs and 9 home runs, both lead college baseball in both of those categories. So,
did you see that list that came out? It was like team home run rankings, and it was like NC State 14, Vanderbilt like 13, and then it had Tommy White at 9.
I saw that. So I'm watching the broadcast, I think Saturday, and they're talking about him, and they're like, this kid's doing Barry Bonds stuff and this and that and the other thing, which is, I mean, it's high praise, but well deserved at this point. And then they're like, I think they said something in terms of, him alone is like beating out multiple ACC teams in home runs at this point. Like, which it's one player beating out 9 people on multiple teams. Like, that doesn't even make sense.
And he's a freshman.
A
true freshman.
Oh, it's absurd.
Yeah. So, I mean, he would technically, you have both of my hitters. So I'll talk about another pitcher or a pitching staff that did very well this weekend. Which would be Texas. I know it's kind of a givey. They're the number 1 team, but they hold Alabama to 1 run in the whole series. A solo home run on Sunday is the only run that the Crimson Tide score. They total 29 strikeouts, 19 hits. And I want to specifically shout out Luke Harrison, who came in relief on Saturday. He threw 3 innings, gave up 1 hit, and collects his first save of the season.
Nice. Solid. So I'm going to mention one more guy, and then we can move to top 25 movement. So I have Jake Geloff.
Jake Gyllenhaal?
Yeah.
Mysterio?
Mysterio. Maybe that's a good nickname for him. Maybe.
What's his name?
Jake Geloff. I think I'm hoping I'm saying that correct. I mean, I'm probably butchering so many of these names.
We both are.
Over 3 games against Cornell, went 7 for 8 with a .875 average with 3 home runs, 13 RBIs, 8 of which were also on Friday. He also had 4 additional runs and 3 base on balls. So when I first look at this, right, I just want to put this out there, right? I'm looking at these stats, right, and whatever, and I go to Virginia, their like baseball website, right? And I look at his stats, and I'm like, oh, he only played 2 games, and I'm like, that's kind of weird,
especially after the performance he's putting up.
And I was like, okay, like I knew there were a couple games that were like rained out, so I was like, maybe that game was rained out. So I see the score, and I'm like, okay, maybe he didn't play, like maybe just a rest day. Look at the box score, he's in there. Virginia just didn't put it up for some reason.
Their stat department is slacking.
I don't know why they just left it out, but because at first I was like, oh my god, this dude went 7 for 7. I was like, that's perfect. But apparently not. Either way, 7 for 8 though, still amazing. 3 base on balls. I mean, you're getting on base 10 out of 11 times. I would love that.
That's how you score runs.
Exactly. Like, he might take my walk title. Possibly. Okay, let's move to top 25 movement. We'll start with Texas again. They're going to stay at number 1. They're 8-0. Went 5-0 this past weekend. Took a 2-game set against Texas A&M Corpus Christi, and then Corpus Christi. Sorry. And swept Alabama over the weekend. Corpus Christi. They might have felt a little crisp after that beating from those beatings from Texas.
Yeah, I would. They were probably fried. Anyways, Arkansas is going to drop one spot to number 3 after they lose to number 6 Stanford at the Carbach Round Rock Classic. The Ole Miss Rebels, they take their spot
at number 2.
Yeah, Ole Miss jumps from number 3 to 2.
Okay.
Speaking of Ole Miss, I don't know if you saw this.
No, I have no clue where you're going with this.
The monstrous 2-sport athlete that they have on the Ole Miss roster.
Who are you talking about?
You didn't see this?
No, I didn't see this.
You ready?
I'm ready, yeah.
315 pounds.
Excuse me?
Defensive tackle and first baseman, Tawone Malone. I swear this is not made up.
Tawone Malone?
Swear.
Yo, we got to put that in.
That's up there
That's
too.
up there too.
His nickname is the Tank.
The way he sounds like one.
Yeah, but he hits his first home run of the season in his second at bat. 2-sport athlete. Shout out to him.
Yeah, absolutely.
This dude is a unit. You got to look him up. He's huge.
All right. Wow. Okay, that's some groundbreaking news to me.
Yeah, he could probably break the ground.
All right, so a couple other teams I want to mention. Sacramento State, they moved to number 23. They were unranked. They're sitting at 7-0. Went 3-0 this past weekend against Long Beach State. They end up sweeping Long Beach State on the road. UNC moves to number 24 after being unranked. They're 6-1. Went 3-1 over the past week. Had a 5-1 win over Elon on Tuesday, and then they end up winning that series against ECU 2-1.
Mississippi State also drops 2 spots from 7 to 9.
Okay.
They lost to Northern Kentucky.
Yeah, in the first game of that set.
Yeah, what I don't understand is how they dropped 2 spots.
Yeah.
After they lost 1 game, granted it was to Northern Kentucky, but I just don't understand how Stanford doesn't move at all.
I don't know.
That just confuses me.
Yeah, I get that. I understand the confusion.
I'll have to call somebody up.
Yeah, call them. And then Long Beach State, they were sitting at 12. They dropped to 25. They're sitting at 2-4. Not great for our dirt bags.
Yeah.
But yeah, like I said, they got swept by Sacramento State. So, and then along with that, Duke and ECU drop out of the top 25. So, yeah.
So that's the recap for week 2.
Yeah. So let's move into week 3. We have our first upset already. Happened today. UTSA beat number 6 Stanford at home 6-5 in the 10th inning.
Yeah. So I want to highlight again, a lot of these upsets are happening because of errors. Stanford commits 4 errors. They only give up 3 earned runs. 3 earned runs. I mean, if in games against lower tier opponents, you can't be doing that. That's going to cost you the game.
Well, it did.
Yeah, it did. It did.
All right.
Well, they also note that didn't mean too much because the Roadrunners out-hit Stanford 11-6. So,
okay.
I mean, it isn't obviously completely on the fielding mistakes, but
yeah, absolutely.
They can cost you at least 1 run.
Absolutely.
Which is a tie game again.
Yeah. All right, let's move to midweek games of note. Let's start on tomorrow, Tuesday, March 1st. Number 19, Texas Tech will go to Dallas Baptist. Texas Tech wins this first game. They played on February 22nd, 8-4 at Lubbock.
They win their first matchup last week in the middle of the week.
So Texas Tech has won 4 straight going into this. Dallas Baptist just got swept by Sam Houston. They sweep Sam Houston. Yeah, sorry. I have this game going to Texas Tech. Close one at Dallas Baptist. I think it's going to be like a 1-run game.
You're wrong.
You think so?
Yeah. I think both of these teams are hot. Obviously, they both come off big wins this past weekend. I could just be going with the cold takes again, but I like to pick upsets. I think it's fun.
Yeah.
I think Dallas Baptist is going to learn from their 8-4 loss
Yep.
week 2. I think they're hot. I think they're going to keep it going. I think Dallas Baptist is going to win.
Terrible take. All right. Well, all right. We'll see what happens on Tuesday.
Yeah. Then we got ECU at Duke, which is a big matchup for both. Another in-state matchup for East Carolina against the Blue Devils. Who you got?
I'm taking Duke. I gotta take Duke, right? I haven't bounced back here. That's all I gotta say.
That's all you got to say?
That's all I gotta say.
Interesting take. I'm picking ECU.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I figured that was coming.
Yeah. I like ECU.
Yeah.
I think they're a good program. I think they got a lot of good players.
Yeah.
They dropped out of the top 20. They both did. But in that last game against UNC, like I said earlier, I think they looked really good. I think they're going to be fine.
Yeah. Both these teams are looking for a bounce back. And I mean,
I think that has potential to be one of the best games of the week.
Yeah. Okay, let's move to number 4, Oklahoma State going to Arizona State. This will start a 2-game set.
Yeah, they play on Wednesday as well.
Arizona State just got swept by BYU. They just got 19 runs put up on them on Saturday. Dude, my head is saying Oklahoma State wins both, but my heart is saying that Arizona State will take one. So I think that's what I'm going to take.
One?
You're
going to be heartbroken. You're going to be heartbroken. The Cowboys are going to win both of them.
All right. So let's move to number 1, Texas at Sam Houston. Texas is undefeated currently. Sam Houston just got swept by Dallas Baptist, like we mentioned. I got Texas winning this one by at least 2 runs.
Yeah, I'm going to have to agree with you.
Yeah.
I wish I could pick Sam Houston because I like them.
Yeah.
I think they're one of the better teams in their conference. Mm-hmm. But Texas is
top tier for a reason, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
They're one of the best teams in the country.
Yeah.
I'm taking Texas as well.
Yeah. Okay, let's move to number 23, Sacramento State at California. Sacramento State is undefeated. Cal started off hot, but they've lost 3 of their last 4.
Who'd they face?
I'm not 100% sure.
I'm not sure either.
Yeah, I mean, I think so. The confusing part for this was Cal played in the MLB 4 showdown, which I want to say was in the D-back stadium. I might be wrong on that.
I have no knowledge of this.
Yeah, but there were some decent teams in there. San Diego State is one. I can't think of the other 2, but they won all 3 of those games. Then they, like I said, lost 3 of their last 4. So they did pick up a win, but I think Sacramento State's going to take this again. I think it's going to be close just because Sacramento State had a very tough series this past weekend, right? I think they're going to be a little bit worn down from that. Cal might jump off to an early lead, nothing too crazy that Sacramento State can't overcome. So I think Sacramento State will win a close one here.
I'm going to have to agree with you too.
Yeah.
Actually, I might say that they're going to handedly beat Cal.
Yeah.
I think they're hot.
Okay.
They're coming off a top 25 sweep.
Yeah.
I think they're going to be fine.
Yeah.
I
I like that take as well.
I think it'll be 3 runs at least.
Yeah. All right. Let's move to 25, Long Beach State at UCLA. Long Beach State has lost 4 straight. UCLA is coming off a sweep of UC Riverside.
Huge program.
Dude, my heart says Long Beach State. I want to be with the Dirtbags, but
you want to be a dirty dirtbag.
Yeah, dude. But my gut is saying UCLA upset. So I'm taking UCLA upset. I think Long Beach State isn't going to be able to figure it out. I think they probably lose a close one. That's what I got. I don't know.
I 100% agree with you.
Yeah.
UCLA brings in the top recruiting class this year.
Okay.
They have a young core coming off a sweep. They're hot. I think they're going to do it.
Yeah.
I don't think Long Beach, like you said, is going to be able to figure it out in time.
Yeah. So Wednesday, March 2nd, we already talked about Oklahoma State, Arizona State.
Oklahoma State.
Yes.
Both.
Sure.
For me.
Perfect. Other game we wanted to know is number 8, NC State will take on Campbell at Campbell. NC State is undefeated. Campbell is 2-6. Like I said earlier, they're supposed to be the favorite of the Big South. I don't think it's going to matter. I think
Tommy Smokes is going to hit another tank.
Yeah, I think NC State's going to dominate. I could see this being like a 4+ victory for NC State, like winning by at least 4 runs.
Yeah, I could see that too.
So
I think NC State's gonna win too.
Yeah. Okay. So we're gonna preview the Atlantic Sun now. I'll let you go first on this.
Sure. Quick pause. The reason we had to cut the video and the audio was because Connor had to use the restroom. I told this idiot that he should not drink a whole glass of water before this started, but he decided it was a good idea. Anyways, Atlantic Sun 2021 winner is Jacksonville. I don't think they're going to repeat. So I think the two teams that have a shot are Liberty and Florida Gulf Coast. Would you agree with that?
Yeah. So, I mean, I think Jacksonville has a shot to be competitive this year, right? They went 16 and 34 last year, and they end up winning the tournament, and they qualify for regionals. They don't do great in regionals, but they end up beating Liberty twice, I believe, and to win the tournament, they beat them 7-3. Right now they're sitting at 6-1. They got that big win against Florida State. I think this is a team that if they come out of the gate better, that's just gonna put them on the right path.
Keep them there.
They're not my pick to win it, but I think they're a team to watch for sure.
Okay. My team to watch is going to be Florida Gulf Coast.
Okay.
I think we're both going to pick Liberty as the conference winner.
Yeah, that's who I have.
Yeah, so Florida Gulf Coast, I think they're going to have a better year than Jacksonville. They return some experienced starting pitching and Tyler Shuck and Jason Woodward. They have a lot of talent offensively. They have Brian Ellis, who's one of the top position players in the conference. He finished second in batting average in the conference last year at 361 and was first in on-base percentage at 494.
Pretty impressive.
Yeah, not 494, 0.494.
I got you.
And then DH Joe Kinker. He's another talented hitter for the Eagles, but it's not going to be enough to overcome Liberty. Liberty last year, they set their program record for win percentage. They go 41-16.
Yep. 719 winning percentage that comes out to.
Yeah. They have 2021 ASUN Coach of the Year.
Yep. They
beat Duke in the regional last year. They went 7-3 against the ACC last year. They had the 12th lowest ERA in college baseball last year.
Yeah.
They have the best prospect in the conference for the 2023 draft in Trey Gibson. He won ASUN Freshman of the Year last year, 7-4, 3.32 ERA. They have 3 first team all conference hitters: Gray Betts, Brady Gilakowski, and Aaron Anderson. Who Anderson hit 375 last year and led the ASUN in doubles. So I think they're favorites to win the conference for a reason, and why they're ranked number 21. Yeah,
I mean, I think you basically covered everything I had. I mean, they also led the nation last year with a 984 fielding percentage.
And they had that electric reveal of their baby blue uniforms.
Yeah, I mean, that might just set them up to win the whole thing. We'll have to see. But I mean, like Trey Gibson, like you were talking about, fastball touches 97. Dude's got some speed behind that. He was also the 2021 freshman All-American.
I did see that.
Gray Betts, like you said, ASUN all-conference first team, played in 57 games, had a 327 average, 4 home runs, 24 RBIs. He had 4 triples as a catcher and 56 runs. So this is a catcher with some speed. Dude.
Yeah. You don't hit that many triples if you can't run.
Yeah, and then one other guy I had just highlighted here was David Erickson. He's a junior relief pitcher. Threw 25 relief appearances last year. Had a 2.08 ERA, over 47.2 innings pitched, along with only 1 save. But I think he's going to be more in the closer role this year, would be my guess. He also had 52 Ks, and he held batters to a 156 average. So this dude is filthy. I mean, this team, I don't think there's a team better than them in the Atlantic Sun. I mean, definitely keep an eye out for the teams we have highlighted. But I think Liberty's going to take it for sure.
The teams that we highlighted could make a regional appearance. So
yeah, for sure. I do want to talk about Stetson real quick because I didn't realize this. Do you know they are the home of Jacob deGrom and Corey Kluber?
I did know that.
Yeah, a little nugget for you
Did
guys
you
out
know?
there.
Did you know that Jacob deGrom played shortstop at Stetson?
I did not know that.
Yeah,
That's insane.
yeah, shortstop.
Wow. Okay, let's move to the Big 12. I'll start. I'm taking Texas.
Yeah.
I mean, what is there to say about the team that has the number one ranking? They're the favorite to win the College World Series.
There's not really a whole lot of weaknesses.
There's not a lot of holes in the roster at all. I mean, they made it to the semifinals last year and they lose to the College World Series champions, Mississippi State.
Mm-hmm.
If they win the championship this year, it'll be their first one since 2005. So it's been 17 years since
when Vince
one.
Young was on the team.
Yeah. But dude, they're star packed. They have talent everywhere. I mean, there's a reason they're a favorite. Couple guys I have noted here, even Ivan Meldez, sick name.
I have him noted.
Okay.
As well.
First baseman, redshirt junior, ABCA All Region second team. Through 59 games, he had a 319 average with 13 home runs and 51 RBIs.
Mm-hmm.
I also have Eric Kennedy here. He's an outfielder who plays mostly left. Redshirt junior, through 65 games, had a 253 average with 4 home runs and 27 RBIs, but he also had 18 stolen bases. So that's more the reason I'm highlighting this guy. I don't remember. I looked at his average and I should have written it down. I think he's hitting in the high 300s or something
right now or last year?
Right, as of 2022.
Okay. I think the more impressive part of their roster is their pitching staff.
Yeah.
They have a lefty and Pete Hansen.
I have him.
He threw 91 innings last year, 1.88 ERA.
Yep.
And then I also noted right-handed pitcher, senior pitcher Tristan Stevens, who threw 111 innings last year.
Yeah.
They're going to have guys that are going to throw a lot. They're going to do well. I still haven't decided on my team.
Okay. I'm taking Texas. There's a lot of talented teams in this conference, right? But I just don't think, I think they're the best team for a reason. I don't think there's going to be a team that knocks them off. There's going to be some teams that play them competitively, but there's not going to be a team that beats them.
I think the other team that I'm looking at is...
Well, there might be a team that beats them.
Yeah.
I don't think they're going to go undefeated.
I think Oklahoma State is really good.
I have them marked here as well. And so last year, I don't know if you know this, they went 36-19-1.
Yeah.
They had a tie in baseball.
Mm-hmm.
Do you know why?
No.
Apparently there is a travel curfew. I just learned about this. So basically what it means is on Sundays, they have like a certain amount of time that they have to like get back. Mm-hmm. So they have time to settle in for classes and stuff on Monday. So
that's an interesting rule.
Yeah. So they ended up tying at Grand Canyon and it was like 4-4 or something like that.
Did it go into like 15 innings or something?
I don't know. It didn't I didn't super look into it, but I just saw that and I was like, that's kind of like an interesting little tidbit that I had no clue about.
I didn't know about it.
Yeah. But continue with Oklahoma State. I don't know what else you have.
So I would say Texas is an S tier team. They're going to be they're the best team in the nation right now.
Yeah.
One of the best teams in the country. I think Oklahoma State is an A tier team. I think they're extremely motivated. They haven't made the College World Series since 2016. Their lineup has a lot of power. They have a 6-year senior and outfielder Jake Thompson, who hit 342 last year. He also had the highest batting average in Big 12 conference play.
Okay.
He hit 393 in Big 12 games last year. They also have sophomore Marcus Brown, who hit 364 and 44 at bats. So he didn't have a ton of experience, but I mean, 364 is very good.
You're making your bats count.
Yeah. He's gonna make some strides this season. He'll be one of their best players in their lineup. Mm-hmm. They have a young pitching staff, and I think they're going to show up. They also have a transfer from Miami, Victor Maderos, who's a sophomore.
Okay.
So Texas Tech, you
have them as well noted.
Yeah, I have them as well. They have a top 10 pick in Jace Jung.
Yep.
That's really about it. Okay. I don't think they're as good as Oklahoma State or Texas.
I just have this team as well. Maybe a regional team. They had a disappointing year last year. Oklahoma went 27-28 last year. Didn't cut it. I think this is a good team. They need a bounce back. If they bounce back, I think they're going to be a tough out in this conference. They're going to play a lot of teams hard. They're going to ruffle some feathers.
They'll win a couple series against teams that are better than them.
Yeah, for sure. And I mean, they're sitting at 5-2 right now, so they're off to a pretty good start. Yeah, I mean, that's about it. Little nugget too. Max McGuire, son of Mark McGuire, is on this team.
Is he juicing too?
No, I don't think so. He's so I looked up so far. He's played in 3 games. He's had 6 at bats, no hits so far. So hopefully
all home runs,
all 0 home runs. But yeah, all right. So let's.
I didn't make my pick yet.
Oh, I thought you picked Texas.
I don't know. I haven't.
You got to pick.
Oklahoma State.
Okay, there it is.
Oklahoma State.
All right, you got the Cowboys.
Yeah.
All right, let's move to the Big East. I can start again. I have Connecticut. Is that who you have?
Just go on with your thing. They won the conference last year.
Yeah, they've made 3 straight regionals. They lost some key talent, including Kyler Fedeko. He was the Big East Player of the Year last year. He was taken in the 12th round by the Twins. Some players of note. One guy I have here is Ben Huber. He's a graduate student, first baseman, and he's a transfer from D2 Limestone College. So you're probably asking me, why am I highlighting this guy who's a D2 player coming in a graduate year? Well, I'll tell you why. He had
Tell me.
In 36 games, he had a 439 average, 742 slug with 10 home runs and 48 RBIs. This dude was raking in D2, and I know D2 is different, but
it's not that much different.
439, bro. Come on, like
that's good enough to play at Division I level.
Yeah, bro. Another guy I have is Austin Peterson. He's a senior pitcher, all Big East second team through 15 appearances, 14 starts, had a 2.58 ERA over 80.1 innings pitched with 82 Ks. So he's a solid pitcher for that Husky starting rotation. And then the last guy I have is Enzo Stefanio.
That's a cool name. It's definitely not one of the coolest, but it's cool.
Also a graduate student. He's a pitcher. He's a transfer from Harvard. So he hasn't played much in the past 2 years because Harvard had their year, or all Ivy League schools didn't play last year. But I'm going back in the files, right?
Yeah.
2019, 19 appearances, had a 2.28 ERA with 36 Ks over 44.2 innings. So I think that's just a guy you should keep an eye on.
Yeah.
I think he might be an interesting player.
I'm going with Villanova.
Okay. That's your basketball school, so I'm not super surprised by that, but let me hear
it. This is the only reason I'm picking Villanova. My great uncle pitched for the Wildcats, I think in like the 60s.
Okay.
He still holds records there.
Okay.
That's why I'm going with him.
Okay.
I also want to note Xavier. I think they're a really good team.
Yeah,
they return 8 of their 9 starters.
Yeah.
And they lost their all-conference catcher to the draft, but they replace him with an in-conference transfer from Seton Hall, and his name is Jerry Huntsinger.
Okay. You know they're 0-7 right now.
Yeah.
Yeah. So here's what I'll say. I have them like noted as well. I also have Creighton noted. They're at 2-5.
Yeah.
Both these teams are starting off with some tough.
Xavier just played Oregon State.
They have a tough first part of their schedule, not super favorable. And I think that's one of the reasons that
that doesn't decide.
No,
but conference.
If you start losing those games in the first, you can't win. If you're not winning a lot of games in that first half, right? Like that's going to be hard to overcome in the back end of the season. I think UConn's the better team. I think they're going to start rolling first, which I mean they have.
Yeah, they had those tune-up games. In the season.
Those Creighton and Xavier, just for example, they're kind of a step behind right now. So, with that being said, let's move to the Big South. I'm gonna let you take this one by the horns here.
I'm going with Campbell.
Okay.
So the 2021 winner is Presbyterian College. They lost a step. They lost. I forget. They played somebody this weekend that was on ESPN that I was watching. I can't remember who it was.
Okay.
But Campbell, I think, is the best team in this conference. Despite losing two of their top three hitters in the conference, they're still the best team. They have Zach Neto, a sophomore infielder who hit 405 last season, won Big South Player of the Year. He made the Starksville All-Regional team. He also threw 41 innings last year, too. Did you note him?
I don't have Campbell.
Okay. All right. Well, I'll keep going with Campbell then. Connor Denning, senior outfielder. He hit 340 last year. He was first team All Big South. They also returned all four of their pitchers with the most innings in Ryan Chase, Thomas Harrington, Ty Cummings, and Cade Kuehler. Cooler. Kuehler. Cooler, Kuehler, something like that. I think they're I think they're the best team in the conference.
Okay. I don't.
Well, you're wrong. So
yeah, well, I might be, but I'm gonna take USC Upstate. This team has a strong bullpen, strong core of batters. They're adding a few transfers here and there, and that's just gonna strengthen and deepen this team. I was looking at Campbell. I just couldn't pick them. I think that USC Upstate's a good team. I think they're going to get it done. Players of note, I have first one is Kevin Davis. He's a fifth-year closer. He had 11 saves in 22 appearances, over 28.2 innings pitched last year with 42 Ks, and he held batters to a 155 average.
That's all right.
Okay.
It's all right.
Jack Hennessy. I picked this guy because his last name. He's a redshirt junior. He's an outfielder. He's actually pretty filthy as well. Through 53 games, he had a 330 average with 24 RBIs, no home runs. But he did have 32 base on balls along with 9 stolen bases. So this guy's getting on base. He's making that time on base matter. He's getting some runs. So, and
how are you going to pick them when Zach Neto is on Campbell?
Because I don't want to pick Campbell. I want to pick USC Upstate.
Whatever.
And then my last guy is Devin Buckner, fifth-year catcher, first baseman. Through 52 games, had a 339 average with 4 home runs and 49 RBIs. He also had 19 doubles and 41 base on balls. So that's who I'm taking. We'll see how it plays out.
Yeah, it'll be fun.
Yeah, absolutely. All right, so let's move into our.
You just want to recap our picks? Let's do that.
Yeah, you want to redo that? Okay. So my pick for Atlantic Sun is Liberty.
I had Liberty as well.
Big 12, I have Texas.
I have Oklahoma State.
Big East, I have Connecticut.
I have Villanova.
And for the Big South, I have USC Upstate.
And I have Campbell.
Nice. Okay, let's move into our top 8 teams. So last week we stated our top 10 teams. We're trimming down some fat, cutting off 2 teams. Do you want to go first and then I'll follow?
Yeah. So last week, my top 10 was Oklahoma State, Long Beach State, Dirtbags, Arizona, Tennessee, Miami, Brigham Young University, BYU, Grand Canyon, South Carolina, Appalachian State, and Penn State. So
who are you trimming off?
I feel like most people would expect me to cut Penn State. I can't do it.
Yeah.
I'm keeping them.
Fair enough.
I'm going to cut off Appalachian State. Yeah. It was just kind of a throw in.
It's not
my heart wasn't in it.
I hear you.
My heart wasn't in it. And I got to say goodbye to the Gamecocks.
Oh, man.
I only had
you had such a strong idea for that. Too. That's a shame.
I only had them in there for the meme.
Yeah.
And it wasn't right to keep them around when I didn't really care about them.
I hear you.
So I'm down to Oklahoma State, Long Beach State, Arizona, Tennessee, Miami, BYU, Grand Canyon, and Penn State.
Okay. So my top 10 teams as of last episode were Penn State, Arkansas, Long Beach State, NC State, Arizona State, a lot of states. Bryant, Texas Tech, Old Dominion, Arizona, and Stanford. I'm also not getting rid of Penn State yet.
Shout out Nittany Lions.
Yeah. You said something about Bryant. I'm keeping the Bulldogs as well.
I would have cut them.
I'm cutting Arizona and Stanford. I'm trimming it down to one Pac-12 team. I'm keeping Arizona State. So my top 8 is going to be Penn State, Arkansas, Long Beach State, NC State, Arizona State, Bryant, Texas Tech, and Old Dominion. So
I'm going to make a pick who I think your top 3 is going to be.
Okay.
ASU is going to be one of them.
Okay.
Arkansas is going to be one of them.
Okay.
And did you have an ACC team in there?
Yeah, I have NC State.
I think I'll go with them as your top 3. I
Okay.
think they'll be your top 3.
Read me off your top 8 again. I want to.
Oklahoma State, Long Beach State, Arizona, Tennessee, Miami, BYU, Grand Canyon, and Penn State.
I think you're going to do Oklahoma State, Arizona, and then either BYU or Grand Canyon. I'm leaning more BYU though, so
right.
that's what I think. But we're going to trim it down to 5 next episode, and we'll move on from there. So that's it, right?
Yeah.
All right. Well, thank you guys again. Another good podcast, I think.
I hope so.
We will catch you guys on Friday. We will record Thursday and drop on Friday. So have a great night.
Yeah,
or
and
a great
have a great
day.
week. Enjoy some baseball this week.
Absolutely. All right. Later.